Hi, what's going on? This is the second edition of the 13 Amazing Slashers. I did an edition yesterday and I did 13 Amazing Slashers that are sort of a little bit more low-key, you know, under the radar stuff. You know, not necessarily obscure, but things that are not so, you know, not so heard of. Had a few in there like The Prowler and Just Before Dawn. Things like that. Well, on this episode anyway, I'm going to talk about slasher movies that are a little bit bigger, you know, franchise movies, and ones that are perhaps a little bit more known. There might be a couple of lower key ones in here as well. Perhaps the one I'm starting with could be considered as slightly low key. Anyway, let's get to it and go through 13 Amazing Slashers Volume 2. So to get started, I've picked out The Dentist and The Dentist 2. So this is number 13 and 12. It's not necessarily a countdown of like my favourite slashers. I'll save that for another video. But just wanted to talk about The Dentist for a bit and The Dentist 2. And this is a fantastic release that came out at the beginning of the year from Vestron Video. It's a Region A. We've not had a Region B of this yet, but it's a great edition. As you can see, it's got The Dentist there. Yeah, so I'll talk a little about the first Dentist movie. You know, it's about this guy who's a dental practitioner, and he finds his wife cheating on him, and he just goes insane pretty much and starts like killing people when he wants to, and it all comes down to him giving his wife some surgery that she probably maybe even deserves. That's a bit controversial. I don't think she deserves to have her teeth completely, like, you know, removed or like whatever he does. But yeah, she's a pretty bad woman, so he takes revenge on her and he's going to give her some surgery she'll never forget. Dentist 2, it's about the same guy. It's got the same character in it. Moves to a new town, new name, and he becomes the dental practitioner of that town. I believe, from what I can remember, he kills the current dentist, and he becomes the new dentist of the town. He's got a new love interest, but his wife, whose teeth he damages in the first film, actually comes back looking for him. So she's quite disfigured to some extent, and she's after him, after some revenge as well. So that's The Dentist 2. Yeah, they're great movies. They're really fun. Little bit kooky, you know. They're not the finest made movies, but they're really fun. And I've got a bit of a soft spot for The Dentist and The Dentist 2. And I watched them for the first time on this edition at the beginning of the year, and I was really like, yeah, for slasher movies, I was quite taken back by them. I mean, it's a bit arguable whether they are slashers, but I'm going to put them in the slasher category because he's kind of, you know, he's a serial killer, so I think that warrants an entry. But yeah, at 13 and 12, got The Dentist and The Dentist 2. So another double entry. As I say, this is not a countdown of my favourites. I'm just giving you 13 entries of amazing slasher movies. So for number 11 and 10, I'm going to do Terrifier and Terrifier 2. This is the Bloody Duo. Both films come in there. Let's talk about the first film. Yeah, it's a really good movie. It's a linear experience. It's the feature-length debut of Art the Clown. He's obviously in the film All Hallows Eve. If anybody's seen that, it's an anthology with 3 segments, and he's in the wraparound as well, and one of the segments, which is quite gory and stuff. It's a good one, but I'll talk about that on another video. But then Art the Clown went on to do his own movie, so he did Terrifier, which is, like I say, it's a linear experience. He's chasing these 2 girls down in a sort of like a building that's been fumigated by this exterminator, and he's in there as well. One of the girls goes to use the toilet. Art the Clown pops up. You know, he does some crazy shit. Then one of the girls' sisters come looking for her, and it all goes down, and they get mutilated and hunted by Art, who's just crazy. And then you've got Terrifier 2, which is bigger and arguably better. It's a more ambitious project, expanding on the mythology of Art the Clown, you know, getting into that area a little bit. Apparently the third film that's coming out is going to really expand on his mythology, which I'm looking forward to. But Terrifier 2 is great as well. He's after this girl and her younger brother. It's Halloween again. It's got brutal kills and everything. But yeah, I think these deserve to be in the amazing slasher sort of realm. So I've popped them in. That's Terrifier 1. So I'll also talk a little bit about Silent Night, Deadly Night. So fantastic festive slasher fun here. It's from 1984. It's about a kid who's traumatized and he grows up and works in a toy store, I believe, from what I can remember. And he's called Billy, and then he sees Father Christmas having sex with somebody and stuff, and he puts on the outfit and goes crazy and goes on a rampage around the town. He was an orphan because of his parents got killed by a guy dressed as Santa. I won't give too much away, but yeah, it's a great Christmas slasher, and if you're looking for something festive as well, can't go wrong with this movie. It's got guts and gore and everything. This is a great addition from Scream Factory. It's a 4K transfer on a Blu-ray. I've got a feeling this year that Scream Factory will drop the 4K UHD of this movie, and I might have to pick it up. Although this edition is fantastic on Blu-ray, as you can see, it's got a great cover. I wasn't too keen on the second film in the series because 40 minutes of it is basically a recap of the first film with little intervals showing the new character, Ricky, his younger brother, but most of it's like a recap. So that film was spoiled for me, but I do have the other sequels from Vestron, which I bought last year, but they got delivered late, so I didn't watch them over the festive period, so I've left it. So later on this year, I'm going to watch all the Silent Night, Deadly Night movies at Christmas time, that's for sure. But yeah, can't go wrong with Silent Night, Deadly Night. Give it a go if you've never seen it before. Yeah, good 80s Christmas slasher. Yeah, it's up there, in my opinion, definitely. So another great slasher, and it's on the Scream Factory line again. I'll be showing a few of these, and it's Valentine. It's about a Valentine's Day killer, basically. This group of women are being picked off, and they suspect certain people, and yeah, it's a guy who's sending one of the girls creepy Valentine's Day gifts and messages and things, and they've got to figure out who it is. Great movie from 2001. I got introduced to it a couple of years ago when I bought the Scream Factory edition. I'd never seen it before. Look at that artwork though, utterly fantastic. Yeah, you got the little cherub there, the little Cupid guy. That's the mask that the killer wears. So if you're looking for another slasher, that's up there with My Bloody Valentine's Day as one of the better Valentine's slashers. You can't go wrong with this one. So yeah, it's got a place on here, Valentine. So one that desperately needs an UK release. I know it's getting a 4K release from Scream Factory in September. I've decided not to pick that up because I think this edition's good enough for me, and it's a 4K scan on a Blu-ray, so it looks very good, and it's got all the uncut stuff, the uncut edition and whatnot. But My Bloody Valentine, because I just mentioned Valentine, I had to slip this one in. Yeah, it's utterly brilliant. It's about these miners, and they have a Valentine's Day party because the party that they're going to have at an hall, a community hall, gets banned, I believe, stopped because of a murder. Yeah, and the town's got a couple of like little secrets to do with somebody who's murdered in the past. Well, I say secrets, they're not so much, it's actually common knowledge in the film. But yeah, there's a guy dressed as a miner picking people off in the mines and in the town, and some great like kills. It's got some good characters. Yeah, My Bloody Valentine. I always watch this around Valentine's Day. Makes me quite happy, actually. I enjoy watching a good slasher that time, in that period. Not that I'm a fan of Valentine's Day or anything. It's just a holiday to sell cards, really, at the end of the day, to sell gift cards and things. But yeah, My Bloody Valentine's utterly brilliant, and this desperately needs a UK Blu-ray, if anything. A 4K as well. I know Scream Factory are doing a region free 4K, but it needs a Blu-ray release in the UK because it doesn't have one. And the uncut version does. Yeah, desperately great film, My Bloody. And just a quick one, don't need to talk too much about this movie because it's covered heavily. I'm going to do a franchise countdown in October anyway, but Halloween's a couple of months away, so in amazing slashers, how could I not mention the original Halloween from 1978? A fantastic movie from John Carpenter. It's about the killer Michael Myers, who killed his sister many years prior, and yeah, he's back for some revenge. He's after his little baby sister who escaped him. That's a little bit of a spoiler for the second film in the series, but oh well, you should know Halloween by now, no offence. If you've not seen Halloween and you're a horror fan, do yourself a favour because it is a great movie. Plenty of atmosphere, great score. Yeah, I just had to mention Halloween in this little video about 13 amazing stuff. And another one that's popular amongst horror heads is Sleepaway Camp. A lot of horror genre fans love this movie. I think it's pretty good. Set at a camp with young you know, teenagers, I think, and there's a killer knocking people off as usual, and yeah, some crazy shit goes down. The ending is insane if you don't see it coming. Now, if the ending's been spoiled for you, that's a shame. But if you watch this movie and you don't know what's coming at the end, it's pretty scary. It's a pretty scary image, and the image is quite you know, it does throw you off a little bit. You're like, oh my goodness. You might see it coming, but I think it's a pretty shocking ending. I think it's one of the better ending for a slasher movie, one of the better endings as such. But that's Sleepaway Camp anyway. And another Scream Factory, just a quick mention of Black Christmas. Yeah, fantastic atmosphere. It's from Bob Clark, who did Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things and Death Dream and A Christmas Story, which I've never seen. I'm going to watch that this year. But yeah, Black Christmas, heaps of atmosphere. It's eerie, it's spooky. Set at an sorority house. These girls are getting phone calls about, you know, there's a creepy guy out there calling them, and then the murders start to take place. But yeah, if you haven't watched Black Christmas, do yourself a favour, because it's one of the greats, and it also kind of spawned it's responsible for kind of spawning the slasher craze in the 80s as well. There's other films that kind of did that, but Black Christmas is one of them, and it's utterly amazing. So a more kind of low budget, low key one now, and I have mentioned this on the Under the Radar series, but I thought I'd mention Headless. It's the film within a film in the Film Found. If you've ever watched it, this is the movie that the guys watch with the horrible killer. It's gory, it's bloody, it's a retro slasher set in the late 70s. I think it's fantastic. I need to watch it again. I do need to revisit this one, but it's absolutely blood-soaked mayhem, and yeah, it's a sinister killer, and it's a bit not for the faint of heart. It's very squeamish, this one, but I think Headless is amazing, and for a low budget movie, it captures the essence of a slasher movie, you know, down to a T. It's retro, it's got an old feel to it, even with it being from like 2015 or whenever it got released. But yeah, it's a good one, and I just wanted to throw this one in because when I think of movies that I wouldn't eat food whilst watching, or have a meal whilst watching, this is one of them. And a quick mention to 1980s Friday the 13th. I haven't pulled the individual Blu-ray out, but I'm talking about the original with the twist and everything. A lot of people will know the twist if they've seen the movie. Special effects from Tom Savini. Yeah, it's a fantastic movie. It's about camp counsellors being knocked off. Excuse my silly stutter in there. But yeah, camp counsellors they're setting up a camp ready for when the kids come the following week or what have you, and then they start getting picked off, and yeah, it's got a great showdown at the end, and the special effects are just brilliant. So that's the original Friday the 13th. Another sort of amazing one that is worth a mention is Pieces. This is the Great Arrow video edition. I didn't get the limited edition set because I collected Arrow after that had sold out a few years ago. But yeah, great movie set on a sort of like college campus, I believe it is, and you got this killer going around mutilating people and leaving body parts everywhere, hence the name Pieces. There's a great scene in a toilet cubicle where somebody gets absolutely massacred, and someone comes in and finds their body parts all piled up in the toilet cubicle. Quite grotesque. That's Pieces, so go check out Pieces if you haven't seen it. And to round off this video, so thanks for watching and bearing with me, but I want to talk about 1981's Madman, and it features the killer Madman Mars. Is this legend of a guy who murdered his family. The legend has it, if you talk about him or sing his song, he'll sort of appear and come after you, and that's what happens to these camp counsellors and the children at the camp. Madman Mars comes after them, and he's knocking people off in gruesome fashion. It's got some good kills, some good atmosphere, you know, it's got sex scenes in a hot tub and all of that kind of cool stuff. Yeah, I think Madman's great, and it's a little underrated as well, and I just wanted to throw it in last on this video. This is a fantastic Vinegar Syndrome edition, so go, if you've not seen Madman, this is the way to go. It's a 4K. I can vouch for the 4K. I thought this looked excellent in 4K. I thought VS did a great job of presenting this in the 4K format. Yeah, Madman from 1981. If you want a sort of good like retro slasher that's got that 80s feel and aesthetic, and a great killer with a backstory that's very fits in nicely to the whole slasher genre, then go sort out Madman because it's brilliant. That's the end of the video anyway. I'm going to do a part 3 talking about some more obscure ones and some more big name franchises. I know I've popped a lot of big name slasher movies in this video, but there is some to go, and I've got some more ones that might be lesser known. But anyway, thanks for watching. I'm slightly drunk, and I thought I'd just get this video done. So yeah, have a good time, and if you got any comments, drop them, and I'll respond when I can. Right, brilliant. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Bye.